Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and this is yet another office hours for AI Agents.box, our 18th office hours here on day 21 of our 180-day live stream sprint and marathon. And on the screen is our Google Docs. And wherever that you're watching the live stream, you should have a link to the Google Docs. Very tab heavy document. We're here in the progress section. This is week 2025, week 4. And this is the last day here of week 2024. So I will be creating a new subtab here for next week's content that we're going to be creating. And anyway, just scrolling through this document here, and our office hours is really designed to be informal where people can ask some questions. And if there's not any questions that come up, then we're just going to keep on building. We biddle in public, and we'll always talk about our FELG culture, love our FELG culture, fun, earning, learning, and giving. And you can see here, no details on the agenda and timeline, but one thing that I do want to talk about is a POAP. And I want to thank Ernest for creating a POAP for tonight. And I don't know if this would be a good time, Ernest, for you to share the secret word, claim word, if anybody's watching. We can also share that again towards the later half or towards the end of our broadcast for people that may be watching on the live stream.
Yes, you can open up your poapp.xyz app on your phone. You can enter in your ETH address or wallet address and numbers as a place to mint the POAP 2. And then on the bottom right-hand corner for Droid users anyways, there's a mint button, and you select the option to mint it with a secret word. And that secret word is Winnie's POAPs, all lowercase, WINNIES hyphen POAPs, POAPS. Thank you.
Yes, no, thank you, Ernest, for taking the time to do that. And that's just one of the fun ways. And for people that aren't familiar, POAP is an acronym for Proof of Attendance Protocol. And earlier today, collected my 200th one, and this was my 201 POAP that collected here tonight. And I'll throw in a screenshot here later, maybe in a, I don't know, somewhere as far as where that you can use that claim word. So anyway, before we start just rolling up our sleeves, just want to take a brief moment to open it up to Ernest, I am Lotus, or Tyler to see what you all would like to talk about, questions, and or do tonight during our office hours.
I got another blog post, LinkedIn, and tweet for initial review based on uh, the myira.fund meeting we had earlier today.
Awesome. And that's in Charmverse, right?
It is. It's
So
on the
our
task board.
Charmverse,
I'll drop the link in the chat that should take you right to it. You can see it.
nice. Our Charmverse space, we're calling our DAO portal is at collab.aiagents.box. And whenever you go there, here's what it'll look like in an incognito window. It will look like this here. And this is where if you have our pre-launch team in NFT, you can click on here to go to the window. And this is something that we will be adding more and more content. It's really going to be our knowledge base. There's also other things like rewards. And like one of the things that I'm wanting to do is create a smart contracts database as we are continuing to add more and more smart contracts to support what we're building here using on-chain technology, wanting to make sure that we're capturing that in a great repository. So for now, I'm just going to click on a little plus here, add a page inside AIagents.box, and it's going to be a database. And we're going to call this a smart contracts database. Smart contracts database. And this is a Charmverse database. And let's see, new database here. So it looks like they had some templates in Charmverse. So this is where we can really just start to play around with the records and whatnot. So going to create a new, we're going to call this the, let me just actually go here to the window, and I'm going to add the browser profile. Let me just do it over here so you all can see. So one of the things that I do is I have a browser profile for AIagents.box, and let me open up a new window. So here is our founding member NFT, I believe. Let me see here. I think that's the old one. Let me just go to unlock protocol. So unlockprotocol.com is the smart contract built specifically for memberships and subscription NFT. And we do have a membership for AIagents.box. We're really wanting it to be a very low barrier of entry here. And let me make this a little bit bigger. I don't know if there's a way that we can delete this smart contract, but maybe I can transfer the agent or the controller to some burn address. Not that important right now. That's just some of my OCD or CDO coming out. But you can see here where we've minted 4 founding member NFTs, and going to the dashboard of that, you can see who the 4 people that have collected our NFTs. And this is the, I'm just going to copy this right here, AIagents.box, and throw this on the title. And let's add a property. Let's see, multi-select. We're going to call this, and I don't know if we can, let's call it, I don't know, source, platform. I don't know what a good word is for this. And let me see what the options are. We're going to call this unlock protocol. And I don't know if I want multi-select. Let's change the type to just select. Select. Change property. And we're going to call this platform. Change property. So let's call this a description, text, purpose. Let's add another property, select, and let's move this up here. We'll call this blockchain. And we're building on base, platform, unlock protocol, description. We'll call this proof of membership NFT. Add property. We'll call this a, is it a number or is it the contract address? Would that be a number or just text? What do you think, Ernest? Probably text, wouldn't it?
It's easy to just start with everything as text until you start entering data, then you know exactly what you
So let's call this purpose,
get all your properties set up first.
right? Let's call this contract address. And we'll move this up here right under the, it's not letting me move it. We'll put blockchain here. Okay, so let me grab the contract address over here, and that'll be copy and paste. Contract address. Okay. All right. Do we need anything else? I mean, this is a good enough start. What else do you think we need on this, Ernest?
Are you just, what's the purpose of it? Are you just storing
Just
potential
so like just to
info?
have a repository of a trusted source of what smart contracts that we're using, because like I'm
Yeah,
not
a
not as
notes, a notes property. And then
is that something though that we should put down here, like in the body instead of in the database properties though?
if you're
Like,
doing it right, so you use just the properties. You use, if you want to add tasks as it's going through like some kind of like progress stage, then that's great to store stuff down there. But if you're just, if you imagine a Google spreadsheet is just this, but without the bottom web page stuff, it's just your properties. So you want the smart contract, you want who created it, you probably want when it was created, and then by who it was created, as properties.
so date, person, and real quick, I see a new person in the waiting room. So I'm gonna go ahead and admit,
Yeah.
it's Maddie. Or is anybody familiar with Maddie?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
And you might even want like the project that it's associated with.
Oh, I might have waited too long to admit them.
Oh, there
Oh,
we go. Hello.
good evening, Maddie. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Welcome to our office hours. So we're just working on creating a smart contracts database in our Charmverse for AIagents.box. So let's see. Let me change the creation date. Creation date. Person. Put myself on that. And should I call this point of contact or POC? It's good enough. POC. All right. Well, that's good enough. I'm more interested on this. Not as concerned about like unlock protocol, but if we do use like splits.org at scale, like right now for our on-chain ambassadors, and I think I've got this in another window here, is already got a decent amount of splits. And the mutable splits don't show up because they're not really, there's no controller on the immutable split. So this is like the split that is mutable. And let me see here. Bring this off the window. So let me create, close this one. Let's see how this looks here in our database. So let me see about moving this over here. POC. Let's just do a new, no templates. New, and we're going to call this, I'm just going to copy and paste this into blockchain base platform splits.org. Purpose, split payouts on any content from blog paragraph .xyz contract address is right here. Creation date. I don't know if I have that. Not too worried about that right now. Put myself as the POC on that. And I don't know if, yeah, actually, I'm going to put the POC as AI agents.box since that's the controller. And let me add a, I'm going to add a property. Mutable. Yes. And that's a, oh, it didn't save the mutable. I don't know why it's not saving this field. Change property. There we go. All right. So I'm going to pull this up here. Okay. So there's added another one. Kind of funny. It doesn't save the, and maybe, let's see, group source table properties. I don't know if we need to show all these properties. The blockchain purpose platform. I'm going to move the blockchain up. Platform, contract address. I don't know if that really needs creation date, mutable. Wonder if you can, do you know if you can wrap these fields? I don't know how much the how much this is similar to Notion. Notion, like Ernest, is a lot more flexible as far as the capabilities here. I'm not going to worry about that. Getting a good start here. Let me make this a little bit. I don't know how well the purpose will show up there either. So let me do another one real quick. I'll do one more, and then this is the splits. I think we paid this one out the other day. Yeah, distributed 1386. This one, I don't even know. Yeah, I'll throw it in here just for, it probably won't be used again. I'm not going to unpack why on that, but platform, splits.org, purpose, on-chain ambassador for Yonk's team.eth, contract address. Mutable. This is no. Creation date. POC, I'll put myself. Okay. So we got 3 entries. I'll work on doing the others later. And I'm not sure how much the title of these, it might be better to use a little different title. I guess can put it over there. And let me see if this is a share, publish. I don't think this is live. Okay, it is live. Maybe every subpage is live under aiagents.box. So let me just throw a link in here for you all on the live stream if you're curious to check this out to see how it looks. So here's the link to the new smart contracts database we just created. One that I do want to put on here real quick, though, is our safe multi-sig, which we, let's see, I'll just go here to app.safe.global. And this is the safe.aiagents.box. And look, we have a little bit of money in there. So we'll go to the Ethereum one's not activated yet, but we do have a little bit of funds. I think that was the split that we did from the other thing. So let me just throw in here in our smart contracts database, we're going to do a new, and this is going to be a safe multi-sig. I'll just put safe.ai agents box.eth. Um, maybe I should have blockchain be a multi-select. Let me change this to a multi-select. Select, multi-select, change property. Because this is going to be the same address on base as on Ethereum. I'm not going to put in the Ethereum address since it's not activated, and we're going to do, we'll put safe.global purpose, multi-sig account, and our contract address. And safe, if you're not familiar with safe, is the leading and the big value proposition with safe is that you get a nice GUI. And one of the things that I think that we should unpack is like some of the safe apps, not necessarily for AI agents.box, but we're likely going to be using safe as our version, our phase 0 alpha phase and beta phase for my IRA.fund. So there's the smart contract address, and I'm going to put in here mutable, not applicable, POC, don't need a POC, so that's good enough. So there's our safe.global in there. So getting some entries here, having already several smart contracts, and I think that this is going to be beneficial too. So it just shows like some of the tools that we're building, and this is something we've got a tools database in Notion, but not going to go there right now. So anyway, I'm going to see if you've got any questions, Maddie. Feel free to open up your mic or throw them in the Zoom. Again, this is an office hours. We always love hearing some thoughts and feedback from other people as far as what we're working on here. So otherwise, we're just going to keep on going through. So let's see. I'm going to add a created our smart contracts database in Charmverse. And let me get that link again. Right, there's the permanent link. Oh, this looks really long. Pick off the extra things. I don't think it needs the extra stuff. Let's see. Let me open this in an incognito window. So there's what our database looks like on incognito window to people that aren't logged into the Charmverse. So I'll probably make the purpose column a little bit longer here, just for visibility's sake. I don't know how long it'll let me extend it. It might not let me extend it. Anyway, good enough because I think it will good enough. So anyway, let's see. What's some other things that we should jam on here? Started talking about a stable coin. We've been talking about creating our own stable coin within our ecosystem. That was something that was having some side conversations with. I don't know if it really bubbled up during the previous My IRA fund office hours that we held earlier today. But I think that with where we're at, it would probably make more sense. And this is, again, something that Ernest and I were talking about, because the opportunity for us to not pivot later to a stable coin and really looking to create just an ecosystem stable coin, not one that has liquidity, where you can swap it on a DEX for a token or for a coin or something like that. But I think that it would be easier to get that created sooner than later, especially with some of the funds that we're planning to launch here within our ecosystem in 2025. But let me see if I have a window open talking about Superfluid and their super token. So I do. Let me bring this on screen here. So this is the docs for the I super token Superfluid at superfluid.finance. We are planning to implement Superfluid as far as streaming payments within our ecosystem, or streaming money is probably more accurate, because when you think about like our investment club that we're wanting to, we've already pre-launching We Own Club of Colorado and wanting to contribute the members of that investment club $100 on a monthly basis, or more if they would like. And one of the things that we are working on creating AI agents for is myira.fund. And the easier that we can make this and the less transitions that we have to make. And I don't know, here, let's see, book a demo. Let me see what this looks like if this goes to Airtable contact form. So I'll fill this out later. I'll go ahead and put that on there. It's not a Calendly, so that's something that they probably use a little bit of discretion instead of just letting somebody book a calendar. But from what I understand, the way that I understand is, like, for example, we've been talking about using USDC. We've already configured like the Unlock Protocol app that we just configured or added to our smart contracts database is currently using USDC. And the thoughts are, the more that we can potentially use, and I'm not saying right now it makes sense to update our smart contracts there to use, because we don't even have our stablecoin created. And I'm not sure what the I in front of this is, I super token, but this is something that I think that we should start having some conversations around. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking and see what everybody else's thoughts are around having more conversations about creating a We Own stablecoin for our ecosystem here in February or March of 2025.
What all what all goes into that? What all do we need to do to get that going?
I think that it would be just understanding what the configurations are for the smart contract, because that's something that we would definitely need to create a smart contract for. And right now we're planning to do it on base, but like you think about somebody coming into our ecosystem, like the opportunity to set up a functionality where instead of somebody coming in with USDC, buying USDC, the opportunity for them to potentially buy our stable coin using our DApp, for example, is kind of the thoughts of what that may look like. And we're also planning to implement account abstraction. I'm not sure. It will probably, in my opinion, be easier to create the stable coin as far as the smart contract than actually implementing the account abstraction and the workflows surrounding that. So finding somebody that could potentially assist, and I don't know if that's something that they have a fairly easy smart contract for, but that's another thing too. Like if we get a lot of smart contracts that we're maintaining ourselves, it may make sense to have some additional infrastructure in place. But like here, this would be really only one smart contract that we would be primarily maintaining ourselves. Like that database that I just created, those aren't smart contracts that we're maintaining. And I don't know if there would really be that much. So I'm not really the best person to answer that, quite honestly, Tyler. I think that it's something that we should have some conversations with. And I don't know what the development work would be on that. I don't think that it would be that much, but like my belief and expectations are the liquidity, like external liquidity, is a much more complicated dynamic. And that's something that we won't really even think about, in my opinion, until the US legislation here in the United States puts forward the stablecoin legislation. And I'm expecting that to happen here in quarter 1. I would be surprised if it doesn't happen in quarter 1, but if not, quarter 2 at the latest. And then that's something that we could, if it makes sense. I don't know if it'll really make sense, even if and when the US stablecoin legislation passes, to even think about having liquidity externally, but that's something that we'll have a lot clearer idea, the second half, like May, June, July timeframe here in 2025. So I'll put on here a stablecoin. Let's have more conversations about this with superfluid.finance to understand what may be involved for us to create an internal ecosystem stablecoin. Internal, i.e., no external liquidity. All right. So one of the things we have been talking about is creating some content. And my IRA.fund, as you all know, is the highest priority on creating some content, or launching, as far as a AI agent or an AI agent brand. And one of the things, I'm not an expert on keyword research, but like one of the things that Tyler and I have been looking for is a crypto IRA. So understanding, like doing a Google search for crypto IRA, and then like doing some content analysis. Like I Trust Capital is positioning themselves as the #1 crypto IRA retirement platform. And just taking a look over here, and whatever I Trust Capital did, they're at the top of the fold. You've got 3 search results on, the top of the fold here. Uh, Coinbase, Investopedia, and I Trust Capital. And Investopedia is a content juggernaut. They have an immense amount of content on their website. But whatever I Trust Capital has done, they've done a great job with the content on their website. And I'm not sure if there's some, you can see here 12 billion in transactions and 200,000 accounts. And this is something too that we should probably explore, Tyler, just for ourselves, to understand what their onboarding process is, because I really want to create such a fabulous user experience with what we're building here, that it is a superior experience to other situations. So this is like over here under Learn, they've got Video Learn Center. Let's see what's in their Learn Center. So recent articles. So here they even talked about, the Trump meme coin and what is tokenomics. We've had some conversations around tokenomics, and just different content that people may be searching for. And this is something that, not something for us to spend a lot of time on here, just something for us to be thinking about as we're working to create content. And the nice thing about content is that when you get some content, it doesn't have to be permanent. You can continue to update the content and different things like that. And anyway, whatever I Trust Capital is doing, they have far more accounts than a lot of other IRA or crypto IRA providers. And but anyway, I'm going to stop talking and let you all chime in some thoughts as far as content surrounding um, what we could potentially think about.
There's a Bitcoin IRA fund.
There's several. We've actually onboarded with Unchained.com, and one of the reasons that I like Unchained is that they allow you to self-custody via a hardware wallet. We've also Tyler and I are currently customers of Alto IRA, so we're very familiar with Alto IRA. And I want to thank here real quick Tyler for taking the time. How many reasons, Tyler? What's that number that you said our transaction fees have been with Alto IRA?
It's around 5,700,
Say that again.
like $5,700.
So in the last 2.5 years, we've spent $5,700 in transaction fees at 1% on the buy side and the sell side since we've had an account with Alto IRA since August of 2022. So that's 5,700 reasons, and we're not expecting to create a zero fee or cost dynamic. But understanding, like, and this is one of the things I haven't looked at iTrust Capital to understand what their big value proposition is. And this is something that we can potentially assess on who shows up as crypto IRA solutions. But
There's
go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, one other thing besides the fees. So Coinbase is the back end of Alto IRA, and one of the challenges is that Coinbase tends to use an allow list versus a block list. So for whatever reason, the DSO token, decentralized social token, got delisted at some point. We were in it at like $9, and when they delist it, and this was me not paying attention. I thought you could redeem it, but you just couldn't trade it or sell it or whatever. They just freeze it, so you can't pull it out, you can't trade it, you can't sell it, you can't whatever. So I thought, oh, this token must be worth zero by now. So I looked at it, it's like worth like $18 or $19. So that's pretty frustrating. That Coinbase, and there's an article Brian Armstrong just published the other day. So we really need to kind of rethink who we allow to be on the allowable list. Maybe we should just transfer to a block list if something is a scam or a whatever. And that's pretty frustrating. I've got something, we were in it. I can't remember what we bought it at, but when they froze it, it was at $9. Now it's at 18, and I can't do anything with it, and it's just sort of frozen there forever. And I can't transfer it out to another exchange. I can't do anything with it. It's just frozen. So
You're
that's one
you're
more
not the only
frustration we're
part.
trying to
Look,
solve.
look here, Tyler. I just pulled up Coin Market Cap. DSO, my coins are stuck on Coinbase Exchange. You guys need to work with Coinbase and let us move our coins into the native DSO wallet. Better off staking instead of having them stranded. And that was from Decentralized Social, probably the official account on that. So we're not the only person that has DSO coins stuck on Coinbase Exchange. And this is one of the reasons that, in my opinion, there wasn't a good reason that it got delisted. I don't know what the reason was. That's another thing. You can see it's not like DSO has 167 million market cap. I'm not sure what caused the number go up here more recently, but that's something that we should definitely follow up with, and that's one of the more negative things that I'm a little frustrated with as well. But I think that there's a good opportunity for us, Tyler, to go through and have some conversations and be intentional about looking at the process for some of these crypto IRA. The biggest thing that we're wanting to do with is to have more access to DeFi than what we have. We're not just wanting to use to do swaps like on with the Coinbase backend because we already have access to do that through Alto IRA. Like one of the ways that you can use digital assets is by setting up liquidity pools. And that's a very different aspect of establishing a liquidity pool. Then that's not the sort of thing that you can do just by having access to, swapping tokens on a centralized exchange. Setting up liquidity pools is another, a more advanced DeFi skill and topic that we're hoping to have some access with this My IRA fund that we're looking to create. So anyway, going back to the ideas for creating content, and I'm gonna put on here a little sub bullet for us is that Yonk's team should explore the onboarding process with various existing crypto IRA providers and document their experiences via blog, via content. And then that'll also, amplify our knowledge as far as what other service providers are providing services to this niche. All right. Well, looking at the time, always want to be thoughtful of everyone's time here. We've got 4 minutes left. Do you, Ernest,
So
or go ahead, Ernest?
yeah, so I dropped a link to the upcoming blog post and paragraph that you can preview. It's generated from today's Google agenda in Google Docs. And I think so this is essentially written from the point of view of Winnie as being an experimental secretary. So she's reporting on that specific meeting, but also it weaved in her own narrative, which makes it a little interesting to catch up on the 180-day challenge sprint that we're in. And I've done other blog posts that I've posted on my media that was more research focused as well. I got like a list of like 13 different types of content that themes out frames out the kind of main topic for blog posts to get, because you don't need just one topic to write about. You need a schedule and a calendar that you're posting. Monday, we're posting a research. Tuesday, we're posting something light. Thursday, we're posting tools, on and on and on. You need a schedule, not just.
Yeah, when you're talking about a schedule, you want to shed more thoughts on that?
Yeah, so essentially you do at just one tools update, one research, one tasks, two tasks updates a week, two tools, and two researches. That's just three different styles that gives you 6 days a week. And then, of course, it also depends on each project, right? Could have its own blog post. So now you're getting in. When IRA has a YouTube video, that'll generate a blog post. When maybe a whole week's worth of IRA.fund meetings have happened, that will generate the project update for that. And then same with AIagent.box. When a week has gone by, it'll aggregate that week's worth of activity and create a blog post. So that gives you 8 blog posts a week to post using only 3 styles. And it's telling it about your tools, researching your tools, your problems, and reporting on your solutions and the activity of the community to move towards the solutions and the vision.
Yeah, that makes sense. It'll be interesting to see like one of the things thinking of content that I would like us to shift and have more conversations. And this is one of the things that I want us to be thinking about over the next week or two is I'm really thinking that it would be quite strategic for us to do a live stream that we're going to be intentionally repurposing into a podcast and the opportunity, to create instead of just having a, 2 office hours, you know, 5 or 6 days a week, have one of those sessions be a live stream that we are planning to repurpose into a podcast where we can then start using podcasting as a distribution medium for amplifying our live stream in a channel that we're not currently tapping into. And
Yeah,
I don't want,
so
go ahead.
if yeah, so that wraps around to a marketing campaign to build relationships with other DAOs. So it might be easier or easy to say, let's reach out to other DAOs that are on our list, see if any of those are interested in doing a Twitter space or even better, a live stream, and just open the discussion about these kind of tools. Are people in there? I already know in Bankless, there's people that are all ready to just dump on that like Bankless archive of discussions in the Discord and stuff and throw that into an agent. So I'm assuming in just about every other DAO, somebody's uh, creating content, and you can keep it light and simple. Just say, hey, let's. Is anybody in your community creating or using AI tools or creating content with them? Images, you know, even, and start the conversation there, and then that just opens up the discussion, and then you close with, hey, let's what should we follow up on here? And then that builds your outreach workflow funnel into your marketing campaign.
Yeah, and just to amplify, like, have you heard of Rehash, a Web3 podcast?
Nope. But I'm a YouTube podcaster, so I'm more into like uh live seeing people in the podcast more than just like listening to my podcast while I'm driving an hour to work.
Yeah, and this is, I think that you'll see that there's a decent amount of that with Rehash. And quite honestly, I haven't unpacked a lot of their different kind of content. I'm most excited about the model that they have here and their tooling, and their business model surrounding a podcast. And I've had conversations with Diana, the main host for Rehash, and this is something I would encourage you all to take a look at because I could probably get Diana on here to really talk about their model that they've created with Rehash, where you pick the guest, we make the podcast, and then just some other things that they've really done as far as being a community centric model for creating content. And I think that the more that we can potentially borrow some of the features or the workings of this for potentially doing our own and wanting to position it as a we own podcast, with season one being the rise of AI agents. We Own is going to be a central brand to our ecosystem. And like we earlier today talked about, or during this office hours, talked about creating a We Own stablecoin. One of the things that, besides that, that's also on our roadmap is that we're planning to have an entire book series about We Own. Let me
Nice.
pull this.
I just dropped the link. So on Story Protocol, there are these pods, and you can use the pods to create and own the IP around the podcast that you create. Now you can probably create your rehash podcast and then enter that as the metadata, but I think um, you can just also create it directly from the pod. See how they got a YouTube thing, so it's almost like I bet they basically just put IP on top of the YouTube. um, yeah, that
No, and
looks.
that's an interesting use case of
But
story protocol.
if you can wrap your rehash podcasts, because essentially it's just creating the pod's just creating the IP data using the IP protocol, the story protocols framework for tracking and dealing with IP issues. So it doesn't actually have to be the I'm sure you're not actually creating the podcast from the pod.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a great find there, and it'll be interesting. Have they is this story pods? Is this just a platform that they're creating?
It's think of it as a DApp on the story protocol. And remember, right now it's all on the test net. So,
Gotcha.
uh, but and so I'll test this out. I'm happy to. It'd be interesting to. I can generate a podcast between a couple cupcakes. One thing that I do for generating podcasts is use Notebook LM to create those deep dives, that are only like 5 to 10 minutes, not really much of a deep dive, but it allows you to create a podcast. You can usually get a good 5, 6 minute audio summary. So again, I'm just drawing from the meeting notes or in the transcripts to provide the information for the Notebook LM to dialogue about the meetings we've been having, and that can create the backlink kind of stuff initially. And so now we have 8 blog posts and a um whatchamacallit, a podcast. So 9 content pieces generated already from just your live stream content.
Yeah, we'll have more conversations. I'll float this too by Diana from Rehash to see if they've looked at story pods, but that could be and something for us as we're looking to lean into story protocol with what we're building as far as doing an IP layer for our AI agents at scale. So very early on the conversations. Looking at the time, we're already 8 minutes past the hour. So on that note, I'm going to stop my screen share and let you all chime in some final thoughts before we bring this to a close tonight. Real quick before I stop the screen share, I'm going to bounce over here to our AI agents box, our link tree, and our event that we've got scheduled for tomorrow is iLocal FYI, our working group. And I'm hoping to have Trisha, the Regenerosa Collectivo that we went through the other night. Hopefully she'll be able to join here to talk about Regenerosa Collectivo that I nominated their project via the upcoming Giveth quadratic funding round. So this could be a fun, and we're just going to continue like we do here to chip away. We just recently rebranded from Invest Local to iLocal FYI, and iLocal FYI is our sister public goods within our ecosystem. And just looking at the event here, really positioning iLocal FYI as a global movement for fostering local community and cooperative ownership using on-chain technology. And we're really wanting to create 2 mechanisms, a fund mechanism and a club mechanism and really template those two things, but I think the opportunity with abstracting away the invest and really supporting local businesses with AI agents is a huge opportunity. And I'm not even gonna I get excited talking about that because I think small businesses are really underserved with the proliferation of AI. And I think, in my opinion, most people are asking the question here in 2025, how can I use AI to make my life better, get more results for my business? And that's one of the things that we're going to really be providing for people with what we're building with AI agents, is making the technology around AI a lot easier so that people can get results instead of spending time with technology. So anyway, that was my final thought before we bring this to a close here tonight. I'm going to stop my screen share and let you all chime in some adieus or final thoughts before we bring this to a wrap.
Thank you for all your hard work, you and Ernest. We're just here trying to learn, but thank you guys.
You're welcome,
And
Piggy.
yeah, well, I assure you, I am having fun. And one of the things that I will say, when work and play come together, that equals flow. And the focus around AI agents box here with this 180-day live stream challenge is really amplifying clarity, because one of the beliefs that I have is what you focus on grows. And I hope everybody can embrace that, because it's very true. And, there's either positive or negative, and there's not that much in between. And this is where we're wanting to create more ownership for people using technology. And as a lifetime technologist, I've never been more excited about a technology evolution than what I'm seeing by bringing ownership through AI agents for people at scale, so that we can really create better technology solutions for ourselves in the coming decades. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, guys.